Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we live in a data-driven world. Dashboards are everywhere across all departments, and they're designed to help us make faster and better decisions. But let me ask you, how confident is your business team when it comes to using these dashboards? Do they always understand the data and what's behind the numbers? Despite powerful front-end tools, business users often face questions they can't answer without IT, leading to bottlenecks. We'll take a closer look at these challenges in today's webinar. Then we'll explore a powerful solution using metadata to provide the missing context. We'll check out how modern data catalogs can overcome these challenges and empower business users with the information they need without any delay. And of course, I won't leave you without showing our own approach, the Enterprise Glossary by Blutelligence. But first, who am I and who's Blutelligence? Let me give you a quick introduction. My name is Alex, and I work as a product manager at Blutelligence. Blutelligence is a German software company, and we have been developing products and APIs for data analytics environments for over 15 years, especially in SAP landscapes. In my role, I'm responsible for product development, working closely with customers and partners, and giving presentation like this one. One last hint. You are welcome to ask questions at any time during the presentation. My colleague Alex will answer them in parallel, and we will also send you this presentation in a follow-up mail. Okay, let's go back to the dashboards and reports. As I mentioned, they are the heart of data-driven decision-making and are often based on data from SAP or Microsoft sources, for example. SAP is in fact one of the leading BI and analytics providers in Europe, followed by Amazon's AWS and Power BI from Microsoft. Yet while dashboards are widely used to communicate data, many users, especially those without a professional analytics background, face major challenges in trusting and understanding the data. Dashboards are typically built for consumption, but what users also need is the ability to explore, question, and communicate data effectively. On the next slide, we'll look at some common use cases, real-world scenarios we identified with our clients, where these gaps, these mentioned gaps, can cause serious problems for business users. So let's start with a basic question. Which dashboards exist for my specific topic? Business users should have a clear overview of which reports are available in the system and which ones are relevant for their use case, even if multiple front-end solutions are being used. Next, it's important to understand where the data in the dashboard is coming from. So what's the source? Knowing the source and context of data is crucial for building trust and making reliable decisions. If a KPI in the report on a dashboard looks odd, users might want to know the formula behind it and whether there have been any changes in the system. Additionally, they might be interested in certain technical aspects such as the applied filters in dashboards or the limitations. Ideally, business users should be able to answer these questions on their own, quickly and confidently. But in reality, they turn to IT. And since the IT department is already swamped with such requests, they likely tell you, yeah, sure, I can answer these questions, but in 5 days. All jokes aside, why do we need the IT in these examples? Well, business users often have a very limited view of the data, and everything beneath it seems like a black box. They might be familiar with their front-end tools such as SAC, BO, or Power BI, But when it comes to understanding the underlying data architecture, things get much more complex. This is especially the case for clients with a highly hybrid backend architecture. So on this slide, you'll see an example of a typical SAP setup that many of our clients implement. So often you will find an older SAP BW system. So maybe the queries are consumed by SAC stories. Sometimes the data is consumed directly from the operative S4 system via CDS views. There are also cases where cloud products like DataSphere are already in use. And this hybrid approach certainly don't make it easier to answer the questions which I mentioned before. So let's quickly summarize the problem. Business users often have questions about dashboards and its data, but due to complex data architecture, they can't answer them on their own. So as a result, IT needs to get involved for basic questions, slowing down the decision-making process. So I've spent now quite a bit of time outlining the problems. Now let's move on to the solution. Metadata. Metadata can enlighten the black box. So why is metadata so crucial? Well, metadata holds key information about data, its sources and relations, providing essential context. It even allows you to reconstruct, for example, the entire formula behind a key figure in BW. So in short, metadata makes data understandable, and that's the foundation for more efficient and confident data use. But here's the challenge. Unfortunately, this metadata is not served to business user on a silver platter. It needs to be extracted, prepared, and made accessible, which requires significant effort. And that brings us to the next topic, data catalogs. Data catalogs act as a central knowledge base for metadata, making it accessible and understandable for business user. The data catalogs collect and organize metadata from across your BI landscape and support data democratization and sustainable data management. To address the challenges we mentioned, a few key requirements must be met. So first of all, one of the core functions of a data catalog is the ability to automatically extract relevant metadata from systems such as SAP or Power BI, covering reports, dashboards, their technical properties, and their relations. However, a key challenge lies in presenting this metadata in a way that is understandable for non-IT users. To bridge this gap, the data catalog should enrich technical metadata with additional business context, such as descriptions, responsible persons, and so on. This enables to browse and access existing reports based on business relevant terms and filters without needing technical knowledge. All of this should be made centrally available via a web interface, ensuring easy and consistent access across the organization. There are many data catalogs available, but for a SAP-centric environment, the options that meet these requirements are limited to 3 solutions. So here we have Colibra. It's ideal for companies with multi-source data landscapes and a high demand for data governance. However, it comes with a high price tag and offers only limited quality insights into SAP systems. We have the DataSphere catalog, especially suitable for companies already using SAP cloud solutions and requiring seamless integration. The downside, classic BW systems, which are still widely used in many organizations, are not properly supported. And then last but not least, the Enterprise Glossary. This is our solution. So the Enterprise Glossary is designed for SAP environments, focusing on simplicity, speed, and cost effectiveness. And it combines deep SAP metadata insights with an easy interface and making it ideal for both business user and IT. And you can also see here partners. So we are also collaborating with other data catalog providers such as DataSpot, Synabi, Alex Solutions, and Cinea, who are using our API to enhance their SAP connectors. So for more information, feel free to visit the link in this presentation. All right, so let's continue. On this slide, we compared the 3 data catalogs across 6 categories: deployment, maintenance, price, architecture, user-friendliness, and functional scope. As I mentioned, we will provide you with the presentation after the webinar, so you can review it at your own pace, because in the final part of this webinar, we will focus primarily on the enterprise glossary. So earlier I mentioned use cases and questions where business users are stuck. Let's take a look at how the enterprise glossary can assist them. So therefore, I will open the enterprise glossary. And the first basic information, the enterprise glossary is a web application that gives all business users a centralized access to look up the information they need without relying on IT. And for your information, the read-only users are completely free of charge. So because the most of the things I will show you will also is also accessible to read-only users. So the first question was about identifying which reports and dashboards are available for a specific use case, for a specific business analysis. A data catalog should provide a cross-system view of what's available in the system. So if, for example, I want to do an analysis regarding expected incoming orders, I want to insert this. And then, as you can see, multiple results are displayed from Power BI to SSC stories. We have also Datasphere analytic model, and also here the BW query. So I can quickly identify whether a suitable report already exists, which I can use. So each listed element has its own glossary entry that I can navigate to, as shown here with BW query. So I will click on BW query, and as you can see, now I can get more information regarding this technical object. In the entry itself, I then receive additional business information. So let me translate this to English. I can receive additional business information, so business-related information, organizational information, so who's responsible for this technical object. And yeah, it can help me deciding whether the report is useful or not, and who I can ask if I have more questions. We can also see that the entries are organized in several tabs. So here we are already in the business overview, but we could also jump to the technical information. And if I'm also interested in technical information, I will get the information here. So here I find the technical structure of the query. So I can see the dimensions, I can see the key figures, the filters, variables, and so on. So the enterprise glossary scans the connected systems periodically via sync jobs, keeping this information automatically up to date. So this is the single point of truth in the end. If anything changes, a new version is created, providing a version history. So you can also jump back to an older version if a key figure looks odd, for example, in your dashboard, just to check if maybe the formula was changed. We can also quickly answer the question of which data sources our report is based on, thanks to this field, data origin. So in this case, we see source tables from the S4 system. So this field essentially is a summary of this tab, of this visualization of the data flow. So here you see the entire data model below the query, and you see here the mentioned tables. And I'm fully aware that this information is quite technical, which is why we also offer the alternative in the previous tab, where you have the summary of the sources. All tabs can be fully customized and removed. So each field you see can be removed here, for example, and you can customize everything, so that the user only sees the information which is really relevant. Okay, so another challenge also involved questions around key figures. For example, let's assume our business user have a question regarding the key figure expected incoming order here. So if the business user wants to better understand this key figure, first of all, the business user can get more context information via this comment, and I can once again click on this key figure to get more information. So once again, you see the business information here, expected incoming order is a key figure representing the anticipated value and so on. But the more interesting part is here, the formula. So the technical information regarding the formula is extracted automatically by the enterprise glossary, and then we visualize this in such a mathematical format. If this is a nested formula, it can be resolved step by step. For example, I can click here on resolve, or it can be fully resolved if I click on this button. So now I understand in a better way which key figures are involved in the formula. If a business user wants to better understand the dependencies of key figures, he or she can then also click on this driver tree. So here you see all the key figures involved in the formula, and also on the next level which key figures are involved, and you see also the restrictions and so on. So as a business user, I can fully inform myself about key figures. We can ensure sanitization through enriched context information like here, and of course I can also check the formula. Okay, and we saw it in driver tree, we can get insights into the formula and dependencies here. Speaking of dependencies, a data catalog should, of course, visualize the dependencies between objects. So here I can click, for example, on this tab usage, and I can check, for example, in which reports this specific key figure is used. But the more interesting information is regarding this query, where this query is used, where this BW report is used, and which front-end tools. So this query is used in an analysis for office report. It is also used in the Lumira dashboard. You can also see the Power BI integration. So the query is also used as a data source in this Power BI dashboard. And last but not least, it is also used here in SAP Analytics Cloud in this story. So this is a nice way to understand the dependency, and also if you want to check which dashboard you can use for your analysis, because then you know, okay, in this dashboard, this query is used, which is interesting for my use case. Last but not least, I would like to talk about interoperability. This aspect is essential for ensuring that data catalogs are not isolated, not an isolated tool, but fully integrated into the analytics workflow. So the business user should be able to jump directly from the data catalog to, in this case, the SAC story. So I will now open the dashboard in SAC. And as you can see, with a bit of easy scripting, you can even create buttons within dashboards that link back to the relevant entry in the enterprise glossary. So it should be vice versa. This is the interoperability. So this ensures users always have the full context just one click away. Okay, so there are more functions I could show to you, but let's conclude this short live demo. Let's switch back to the presentation and move on to the conclusion. So what's the takeaway? We talked about the problems that business users often face, questions they cannot answer without IT support, leading to inefficiency and delays. We talked about the solution, metadata and data catalogs. They can help to address the issues by providing easy access to essential metadata, insights, reducing the need to rely on IT. Data catalogs on the market vary in pricing, installation, complexity, and the depth of information they offer. Our solution stands out in providing detailed SAP insights, making it the perfect choice for this purpose. And as already mentioned in the presentation, these SAP insights can also be found in a comparable depth within the data catalogs of our mentioned partners. Okay, so now we've reached the end of today's webinar, and I'd like to share some exciting opportunities for you to explore our solution further. So first of all, if you like to get hands-on with the tool, we offer a proof of concept tailored to your needs. So we support you during the setup and guide you through joint workshops with all the stakeholders so you can see the full value that the tool brings. And the best part, after the initial phase, you get 6 more months to explore it on your own terms. So as a thank you for joining today's webinar, there's a special deal. Type POC in the chat now and you will get a 10% off. You will get 10% off the POC package, so a discount. If you prefer to test the tool on your own, we also offer a 2-month self-test period. Simply type test in the chat and we'll provide you with access to explore the tool independently during this time. But of course, there's no rush to decide right now. If you have any questions or need more details, feel free to reach out via mail or contact me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to support you. Okay, so before we wrap up, I'd like to thank you. Thanks for your time and your attention today. Don't forget to follow our Blutelligence account on LinkedIn to stay updated on future webinars and events, or maybe you will also find some interesting blog articles. I hope we'll have the opportunity to meet you again in one of our upcoming sessions. Thanks again, and I wish you all the best. Take care and goodbye.